All right, welcome to the party, friends. We're checking in. I'm expecting to be ordered to begin our descent into Pasco, Washington, KPSC, Kilo Papa Sierra Charlie momentarily, but check this out. You are seeing that correctly. 133 knot headwind. 134 knot headwind. We took off from Eureka, California, bound for Pasco, Washington, and was expecting about an hour and a half, roughly. It has been unbelievable. The headwinds have been unreal. I've dealt with headwinds before. I've never dealt with 134 knot headwind before. Unbelievable. We're 37 miles from our next waypoint, PAPS, right here. We're approaching and planning to land at runway 12, RNAV approach into Pasco. Tri-Cities Airport, I think is what it's actually called. But this has been wild. I mean, I thought I gave myself enough gas, more than enough fuel for this flight. But as you can see, got 27 on the left, 23 on the right, burning 59 gallons an hour. I'm showing us 21 minutes to our destination. Look at this. I don't know if you spotted that. It went up to 136, 137. Still holding at about 134 knots, and it's coming right at us. I mean, directly at us. Look at our ground speed. 202 knots. 202 knots. Our ground speed. Our true airspeed's normal. Knots indicated 207. These numbers are as I would expect. But the real measure of just how slow we're going is the ground speed of only 200 knots. 202 knots. Unbelievable. Just incredible. And oh, by the way, we've had terrible turbulence. Just terrible turbulence on this flight. I believe that mountain out there is Mount Adams. Yes, Mount Adams. Right there. But anyway, I'm hoping that we're going to get our descent instructions here momentarily. We need to. We're just 9 minutes from our next waypoint, PAPS, at 30,000, flight level 300, 30,000 feet. Still with a 134 knot headwind coming right at us. But no word from ATC yet. It's been a while since ATC abandoned us. I hope this isn't one of those instances. But I'm starting to get a little nervous because we haven't heard from them. Just passed over the Columbia River about 10 minutes ago on this slow crawl north. I don't know what's going on in the skies above Oregon and Washington State today, but it's a lot of wind from the north at very high speed. I mean, 134 knots, I don't know, quick math, that's about 150 mile an hour headwind. Oh, why can't I be headed south? My God, would be just whipping along. Now here it is, I'm sweating bullets about running out of gas. Still only showing 18 minutes to our destination, and even at our slow current airspeed. I am beginning to prepare for the possibility that ATC may not order us to descend, which has been regrettably known to happen. While we're waiting, go ahead and set our minimums for this airport. Minimums are 755, parametric 755, enter that. And we also do have a VOR DME frequency that we can enter, which I show, I believe is 109.8. That's the Pasco VOR DME frequency. Go ahead and input that and go ahead and activate it on our PFD settings bearing 1. We are receiving information there, 43 miles from that VOR, directly. That cyan arrow is pointing in the direction of that frequency. It doesn't mean we're 43 miles from our destination. We're actually 58 miles from our destination. But we're not hearing anything from ATC. I don't know why. Now showing 135 knots on our headwind. I don't know why we haven't heard from ATC. I've tried to find rhyme and or reason as to when and why and how and where this problem presents itself. I've yet to determine that. But if we don't hear from them soon, it's going to be a challenge. We have had this situation before where they tell us to descend very, very rapidly in a way that's not safe, nor is it realistic. That could happen here as well. All I can tell you is, based on the approach plate, I know that at high lob, we need to be at 3,300 feet. At fax ax, we need to be at 2,200 feet. And at Zapov, which you can't see here, but it's here, right there, we need to be at 1,100 feet. And here we are now, closing in on PAPS, still fat, dumb, and happy at 30,000 feet. So I don't know what's going on with ATC on this one. I'm starting to worry. We should have heard from them by now, I believe, at this altitude. This airport, Tri-Cities Airport, is at an elevation of 410 feet. Runway RNAV, runway 12 has an approach course of 121. Runway length is 7,704 feet. So, in all respects, kind of a it should be just kind of a routine approach. The thing that's been weird about this flight has been the unbelievable headwinds, but nothing especially exotic about the approach. The fact that we've yet to receive any descent instructions is not promising. It doesn't mean that we're going to die in any way. We've got perfect weather. I did reinstitute the real air traffic because just make that out there, because we're not going into a busy airport, so I figured it wouldn't present a serious problem in terms of lots of traffic cluttering up the frequencies. I'm just going to stay at flight level 300. We're going to see what happens together. But I am starting to bite my nails about gas. I'm showing us only 47 nautical miles from the airport, and we're still at flight level 300. ATC has not ordered us to descend, and this is not good. And by not good, I just mean that it's a sign that the ATC AI is not working on this flight, regrettably. It should be, but it's not. Regardless, if we do get an instruction, even a late one, I can descend as steeply as 4,000 feet per minute. So what I'm going to do is move our altitude selector down to 3,300 feet, which I know to be the, according to the approach plate, the altitude at the initial approach fix of high lob, in anticipation of the possibility that we are eventually ordered to descend to 3,300 feet at a very late stage. If that happens, we can descend very rapidly. It's not my preference, but I can't stay up here forever, and I'm getting low on gas, so it's a possibility we'll get an instruction as we reach PAPS right here. There's no doubt in my mind, though, that something's not right, because we should have received descent instructions well before this. That is now 42 miles from the airport. Probably, I would have expected to have received descent instructions at about maybe 80 miles from the airport. But let's just see what happens. I do remember this happening once in the Caribbean once, where we were just a couple miles from the airport and they told us to descend, 25,000 feet in 2 minutes. That even this airplane is not capable of, friends. Still dealing with this headwind, 135 knots, 136. Please stop. I've done all I can to pre-program what I expect to be a very rapid descent. But I don't know what's going to happen. I dislike it when this happens. It has not happened, I think, since the Caribbean. I was in the Caribbean maybe 3 weeks ago. There's an airplane out there. Probably headed to Seattle. He's right here. That's him. There. He's above us, probably flight level 310, 320. Finally. Okay, we'll acknowledge that. We need to boogie down to 6,000 feet, so we're going to descend rapidly.
Traffic is 2 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 335 generic. Report them in sight.
That's that plane I was just pointing to.
Alaska 729 traffic is...
Oh, now you know which airline it is. Alaska 729. I'm having to handle the air traffic. God almighty, this turbulence. Traffic in sight. The air is above them. Having to handle this ATC myself. Okay, we're going to increase our descent rate even more to 3,000 feet per minute. We're just, let's go to a flight idle on the throttle just to try to air brake us as much as possible. We're just 2 minutes 40 seconds, and it's actually, we're going faster than that. Probably about 2 minutes, I'd guess, from Gator, and then High Lob after that. Remember, we need to be at 3,000 feet, I'm guessing, in about 5 minutes, which is pretty crazy in terms of descents. So yeah, this is just a bug. This one was just a bug because we've been asked to descend at a rate that's really extraordinary. Not impossible, but pretty extreme. This airplane, as I said, is capable of descending at up to 4,000 feet per minute. I'm going to take every opportunity to do just that. My passengers probably feel like they're on a goddamn space shuttle, though, right now. Because we are steep nose down. Not unsafe. We're not unsafe. Our knots indicated airspeed is completely where I'd expect it to be, about 200 KIS, 201. But I'm sorry, I got to get down low. I mean, we're at 23,800 feet, and I've got to get to 3,300 feet by here. So that's a lot of ground to... That's not a lot of ground to accommodate a descent that extreme. But again, this is all technically, I believe, within the safety envelope, based on my research on the DART TBM. Still, though, pretty dramatic, and it's entirely possible that we're going to have to just do a little 360 once we get to high lob like that, just to burn up some extra altitude, burn off some extra altitude. On the upside, we're not using that much gas anymore, since we're basically a freaking rock. Beautiful out though, man. Clear. There's that 3,300 feet I mentioned. Down to 3,300.
Descend and maintain 3,300 feet.
So here's where the rubber meets the road. We are headed towards high lob from Eder, We're 2 minutes from high lob and descending at 4,000 feet per minute, meaning we'll lose another 8,000 feet, which will only put us at 10,000 feet, way, way too high to be at 3,300 feet. So basically what I'm going to do when I get to high lob is I'm just going to execute a 360. We're going to get like this, and we're just going to do a circle like that to 3063 on the nearest altimeter. So, wow, 3063. Holy smokes. That is great. That means we're even higher than we thought. 3063. Let's see if that's true. Yeah, 3058. Crazy. Wow, crazy. Got a sink rate alarm just because we're descending so steeply. So since we now know that there's no way to get down to 3,300 feet by high lob, like we know we need to be, I'll shallow out our descent with the expectation, and we'll arm our heading bug, that we're just going to do a 360 just to burn off some to bleed off some altitude. All in all, I mean, this isn't a deal breaker. Frustrating that ATC didn't give us descent instructions in an earlier time frame that would have been more plausible. Anyway, 40 seconds now from high lob. Still way, way too high. I mean, it's better to be spatially aware, situationally aware.
Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo, descend and maintain 2,200 feet.
Yeah, I'm working on it, Coaches. That is our, as you remember, that's our next descent rate. I'm going to activate heading, and as I said, we're going to execute a 360. Just all we're doing right now is just turning a big circle just to lose altitude. Hopefully that makes sense. Then we'll re-engage the nav. But right now we're we're 10,000 feet higher than we should be. Again, not because of anything I did wrong, only because of ATC's screw up. But it's okay. We're executing our plan here to deal with this situation. Still in the middle of that big left turn. You see? I'm just going to go like that. And the time it takes us to make this 360-degree turn will bleed off enough altitude to get us at 3,300 feet at high lob. Go over to approach. Going over to approach, 2875 there, there's Bravo.
128.7 fight for Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Again, continuing our 360-degree turn. Bleeding off more airspeed, not airspeed, excuse me, bleeding off altitude. Contact approach.
Approach Docker November 34 Tree Whiskey Bravo is at 10,000.
Wow, pretty evening.
Descending 2,200
Cold up there.
feet.
It's just 41 degrees on the ground last time I checked.
Whiskey Bravo approach, continue to FAX as planned. Altimeter 30.58.
We are going to continue to fax-ax, but not until I bleed off some more altitude. 9,700 feet now. And just keep in mind, because I studied the approach plates, I know I need to be at 3,300 feet at high lob. And right now we're at 9,300 feet, descending at 2,600 feet per minute. Let's go ahead and increase our descent rate even more. 3,000 feet per minute. That means in 3 minutes we'll be where we need to be. That is 3,300 feet. I do know that we're 13 miles from fax-ax, so that tells me that we're probably, and specifically, probably about 4.5 minutes. So that tells me we're probably good. Oops. Probably good to begin our turn now. That's my quick math here. So we're finishing that big, it's less of a 360 than a big oval. Shallow out our descent rate now. Okay, we're looking much better now. Keep turning left. Back to high lob. Keep going. See, here we are on the MFD. And once we get back over that magenta line right there, I'll re-engage the nav. Right now we're using the heading bug to turn. Okay, this got us in a much better position in terms of where we needed to be. I'm just telling you that if we tried to do that, to shoot that approach, it would have been a catastrophe. I mean, we would have had to have gone around anyway. It just wouldn't have worked. Okay, so now, 5,800 feet. Increase our descent rate again. Now descending 2,300 feet per minute. Headed straight to high lob. Right there, where we need to be at 3,300 feet. Here we are. So you remember? You see what I mean? That's what we did. What we did here. We were here. We were way too high. We just executed a big, kind of a teardrop approach. Looking good now. Reactivate the nav. Let's just see what happens here. I think I see our runway. There it is. Excellent. Very good. Okay, so we need to descend down to 2,200 feet was our next descent command. Beautiful sunlight. Wow. Okay, we're much better now. Everything's good. Don't forget, 3,300 feet at high lob. Getting our airspeed's good, 165. Still got a stiff wind, 28 knots. Kind of a quartering crosswind right now. That was an adventure. Okay, we'll start a... Looks like the airplane's doing it. Ooh, there's the moon. Beautiful. Airplane's doing a little right turn, as you would expect, to get us back on track here. Headed to Faxax is next, 2,200 feet. Faxax is 3 minutes, 20 seconds away. And we're at 3,000 feet. We need to be at 2,200 feet at Faxax, so we can descend even more shallowly than this. Looking good. This is helpful, too, because it's allowing us to bleed off some airspeed. We can get out of this flight idle condition that we were in. Turn on our initial separator while I'm thinking about it. A little bit more still yet. Okay, passing over high lob now. Faxax next to come. Just 7 miles from Faxax, and I happen to know from studying the approach plates the distance between Faxax and the waypoint after that, Zapov, is 3.4 miles. The distance between Zapov and the airport is 2.1 miles. Airspeed looks really good right now, but we could probably stand for just a teensy tiny bit more gas. That's better. Inertial separator. Man, we're 18 left, 17 right on gas. Okay, so we're on the RNAV approach now. Let's see if we press the APR button. Before I do that, let me just sync our heading bug just in case we have to jump to that. Well, I do see info regarding the glide path. Faxax still 5 nautical miles, 2 minutes, 3 seconds away. And we're at 2,560 feet. We need to be at 2,200 feet at Faxax. Wow! Look at that. Pretty. Okay. Still a stiff wind from the northeast. Who knew? I had no idea it was so windy up here in the northwest. We'll set our next our next altitude selector at 1100 feet, just because I know that to be the next altitude setting. Okay, throttle back just a little bit more here. Put our gear down. I tell you, I never get used to this. Okay, it pays to do your homework in this game, I'll tell you. Because when you...
Air Tree Whiskey Bravo, you are 900 miles
Stand by.
northwest of Tri-Cities. Contact tower on 135 decimal tree when inbound.
Contact tower.
Tower on 135 decimal tree, Her Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Alright, Tri-Cities Tower, stare through Whiskey Bravo.
Whiskey Bravo, 8 miles northwest inbound, Arnett Yankee runway ONE 2 approach.
Hey, we're looking good.
135 decimal tree, Her Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Everybody's talking.
Cleared Arnett Yankee runway, ONE 2 approach. Altimeter tree, 0.5, 7 wind tree, 60 at 15.
360 at 15. Okay, well, to the north.
Cleared Arnett Yankee runway ONE 2 approach, Her Tree
Tri-Cities
Whiskey
Airport
Bravo.
Information Uniform 0000 Zulu.
Cleared Arnett Yankee runway ONE 2 approach.
Got a little shit show going on there on the ATC.
Sky condition, few clouds
Oh
at
my
900
goodness.
feet, few clouds at 4,300 feet, few clouds at 11,800
See how long that lasts. Flaps one.
Dollar Tree Whiskey Bravo, cleared to land runway ONE 2.
Go through Gifley. Gear down. Flaps are set to notch 1. Inertial separator is activated. Flaps fuel is on fumes. Lights. And we'll disengage the yaw damper. What a pretty approach. Okay. Autopilot's disengaged. We're going to be fighting the wind all the way down.
Did you hear my last transmission?
Yes, darling. I'm sorry, I got my hands full up here, sweetheart.
Cleared to land runway ONE 2 Her Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Okay, we'll get our airspeed here at 86. That's good. Trim us a little bit. Zoom us in here on the MFD just so we have... Man, oh man, what an adventure. This flight was incredible. Just amazing. Fighting the stick here. Trim, 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 trim. Always trimming. Always trimming, always dealing with our airspeed. Boy, the sunlight. God, I just never get over how this sim handles sunlight. 2 mile final. Interesting lighting pattern there at the far end of the runway. I don't know. We're at the opposite end of high intensity runway lights. Just never approached it from that kind of an angle before. Red over white on the Vossi now. Red over white. 500 AGL and red over white on the Vossi. Interesting, the winds are now from behind us. Got a 5-knot tailwind now. That changed suddenly. Boy, the sunlight. What a beautiful evening to land at down here at this airport. Just gorgeous. Showing 350 feet AGL. There's red over white on the Vossi. Nailing it right now. Got a nice long runway, no reason to hurry. Can't tell if parking's on the right or the left, frankly. Runway 12 confirmed visually. 87 knots. Wow, what a gorgeous approach. 86 knots. See that wind, how it has us pointing? Idle. Flare. Crab a little bit. Holy Moses, I told you that wind was pretty wild. See it push us? You see that? Whew, man, that was tense. All right, we're just gonna roll out here. No brakes, no reverse thrusters. I don't know where to park.
Delta 3 Whiskey Bravo.
Let's see.
Turn next taxiway.
Which way, sweetheart? I turned on the ribbons, damn it. Let's go this way. I did turn on the ribbons, I think.
Delta 3 Whiskey Bravo contact ground on ONE 21.8.
All right. Okay, so
121.8.
I'm gonna have to
Delta
park
3 Whiskey
myself.
Bravo.
And let's just contact ground. Taxi to parking.
Ground $November 34
I
Whiskey
have
Bravo
a map
request
of the
taxi to
airport.
parking.
Let's see if I might be able to use their instructions.
Delta
Just
November 343 Whiskey Bravo taxi to General Aviation.
Yeah, via
Taxiway Bravo, cross runway 3 right Delta.
Bravo. There is no taxiway Bravo at this airport.
Taxiing to General Aviation.
There's
parking
taxiway
using
Delta.
Taxiway Bravo, cross runway 3 right Delta, Delta 3 Whiskey Bravo.
Shoot. Okay. Well, I am looking at a map of the airport. It seems to show the general aviation parking is off to the left of the runway, and transient parking is off to the right. So today, friends, we are transients. Okay. All right. Flaps up. Landing lights. Switch to taxi. Pulse off. Okay. So you see here, we're going to go turn left, taxi down this way, and park right here. That's transient parking. According to the airport map I have on ForeFlight. So let's go. Let's get parked and let's get out, have a cocktail, and get to bed. Gotta cross a runway in order to do this, so that's what this red line means. Runway 21.
Approaching runway 03 right, 21 left.
She'll just look,
Entered runway 03 right.
make sure nobody's
21
coming.
left.
Nobody is. I'm not too hurt parking in transient parking. But I think that general aviation parking's over there. I turned on the taxi ribbons, but I'm not seeing them. It's okay. Man, it's so windy. 13 knot wind. That's why I'm having trouble keeping this airplane straight. If I don't do anything, look what happens. If I don't keep the left rudder, look what happens. We're just a weather vane, so I'm just riding my left rudder. Okay, so we're gonna turn over here. I don't know. Maybe I should. I feel kind of bad. I don't want to park in transient parking. There's a goddamn gate over there. I don't want to park at a gate. All right, let's go left. This will only take 30 extra seconds.
Approaching runway 1230.
Yeah, so if I'd had my druthers,
Runway 1230.
make sure nobody's landing. If I'd had my druthers, I would have kept going on the runway that I landed on and then turned left here. But that's all right. Okay. Now you see where we are here? Let's get over there and button her up after that. Man, I need some fuel. Holy smokes, 15 and 15. Ah, too windy. Now the wind's from behind us, so it's pushing us. Okay. I don't know why there's no other GA airplanes depicted in the area. This is obviously where the hangars are, though, so this makes more sense. That we're parking over here. Let's hang a right at this one. Oh, this wind is driving me crazy. This is listed as general aviation parking on the official airport diagram, so What a pretty night. Okay, there we go. A little bit of a rough stop there, but all right. Okay, parking brake. Throttle. Fuel cutoff. Depressurize.
Aural warning, okay.
All right. Just happened there. Yeah, okay, we're good. That's it. Wow. Oh, man, what an experience. I mean, oh my goodness. 135 knots. I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen it myself. Okay, here we are. Parked. Basically in place. Wow, pretty night. I can actually hear the wind. That's cool. Hear that? That's crazy. I think I just realized we didn't turn off our taxi lights. There we go. Okay, that's it. We made it safe on the ground in Pasco, Washington, Tri-Cities Airport. We'll see where fate takes us next. That's it.